Hello, you're watching World News Update on TVP World live from Warsaw on this New Year's Day of January 1st, 2025. My name is Sasha Farbach. Now we start off with Ukraine, where New Year's Eve celebrations went differently than in the previous years. Our correspondent Oz Chatterjee is in Kiev. Now, Oz, first of all, Happy New Year to you. Now, how did Ukraine welcome 2025, and were there any interruptions to the celebrations caused by the Russian army?
Well, it's important to remember that in Kyiv, there's a military curfew in place that comes into place at 12 o'clock every single night. So there were no public celebrations here in Kyiv for New Year's. And that said, President Zelenskyy did record a nightly address, which he thanked the Ukrainian people for their defense of the country in 2024. The New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, as you want to call it, celebrations, however, were indeed cut short by another drone attack by Russia. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, 111 drones entered Ukrainian territory on the 1st of January, of which they say 63 of those drones were shot down and 46 failed to reach their location or were jammed by electronic warfare measures, and a further 2 entered the territory of either Belarus or Russia. Now, we do have some reports of damage and injuries. According to the mayor of Kyiv, Vitaly Klitschko, there was a building that was set on fire. Some debris, falling debris, did manage to damage a residential building, and 6 people have been reported injured. And these attacks, these drones were targeting 10 different regions of Ukraine overnight, including Kyiv, Sumy, Chernihiv, across the country, multiple different targets. The Ukrainians will be fortunate and thanking themselves today that there are no deaths so far reported from these attacks.
Look, Oz, I mean, it's a somber start to the new year, but thanks for that update and continue to stay safe there. Thank you. That was Oz Chatterjee in Kiev. Now, today marks the first day of Poland's turn at the helm of the rotating presidency of the Council of the European Union. The program for the Polish presidency is focused on security matters.
The 6-month-long term marks the second time Poland is at the helm of the body. Poland's approach to this leadership position centers security issues, prioritizing military security, increasing Europe's defense capabilities, and strengthening its defense industry. Another key focus will be bolstering the relationship between EU's most powerful allies, NATO, the US, and the UK.
Polish President Andrzej Duda has extended New Year wishes to his fellow Poles. In his address, Duda said that the security of the homeland must be the top priority for his future successor. President Duda's second term comes to an end in 2025, with Poland heading to a presidential election this May.
We live in troubled times, in times during which we have learned that peace and freedom are not given once and for all. They must be sought every day. That is why the security of our homeland must be the most important issue for the future president, regardless of who we entrust with this office. For me, the security of Poland and Poles has always been a top priority and a matter that should be above all political divisions. This is how I have acted and will act until the last day of my presidency.
Russia's gas giant Gazprom halted natural gas supplies to Ukraine as the 5-year transit agreement expired on the first day of the new year. The contract between Russia and Ukraine expired at 8 a.m. on the first day of 2025 Moscow time. This shutdown marks the end of Russia's oldest gas route to Europe and ends a decade of front relations sparked by Russia's seizure of Crimea in 2014. The European Union ramped up its efforts to reduce its dependence on Russian energy after the outbreak of the war in Ukraine in 2022, seeking alternative sources. 2025 is bringing major changes to Romania and Bulgaria as the two countries officially entered the Schengen zone at midnight on the 18th anniversary of their EU accession. Romania is abolishing border controls at 40 border crossings, and Bulgaria is likewise abandoning checks at its EU borders. The moves follow a December 12th decision by EU ministers to allow the two countries to join the zone. In spring of 2024, Bulgaria and Romania saw air and sea travel restrictions lifted in a move that the European Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, hailed as being a historic moment for the Schengen area. In line with other European countries, random checks by border guards will still be carried out within 30 kilometers from the border. And now for some New Year's wishes from North Korea to Russia. Kim Jong-un has sent a New Year's letter to Vladimir Putin, pledging to strengthen the partnership between Pyongyang and Moscow. Now, in his letter, Kim reportedly wished victory upon Russia, saying he wishes for 2025 to be the year Russia defeated what he calls neo-Nazism. Kim also expressed his willingness to strengthen bilateral ties between the two countries. Back in June of 2024, Kim and Putin signed a mutual defense treaty. The document calls for each side to come to the other's aid in the event of an armed attack. Since then, thousands of North Korean troops have been seen fighting in Russia's war on Ukraine. The investigation into the crash of Jju Air Flight 2216, the worst aviation disaster in South Korean history, which left only 2 survivors out of a total of 181 passengers and crew, has gathered initial data from one of the aircraft's flight recorders. The plane crashed in a concrete barrier on Sunday and was immediately engulfed in a fireball.
The Accident Investigation Board has already extracted the material stored on the voice recorder and will begin the process of converting it into audio files today. I will say that the technical feasibility of extracting data from damaged flight recorders in Korea is under continuous review. As of 10:30 on January 1st, 2025, the incident recovery status is as follows. The identification of all 179 deceased has been completed.
Cities around the world made sure to welcome 2025 in their own special way. Some, like Bangkok, chose more environmentally friendly options. Here's a recap of the most spectacular displays. Sydney's 12-minute fireworks show in the city harbour featured 23,000 pyrotechnic shots and over 13,000 aerial shells. The city increased the number of firing locations by almost 100 in comparison with last year. In Paris, thousands flocked to the Champs-Élysées to watch a firework display above the Arc de Triomphe. Also in Berlin, the celebration was held at the Brandenburg Gate. And this year, Bangkok went with more eco-friendly fireworks made from sticky rice. And in Taipei, the display was traditionally centered around the city's highest building, the Taipei 101. According to the organizers, the show demonstrated Taiwan's determination and strength to meet every challenge. This New Year's Eve wasn't exactly a party everywhere, however. Puerto Rico struggled with a major blackout that affected half of the island. The cause of the outage is being investigated, but preliminary findings reportedly point to an issue with an underground cable as the reason for the blackout. As Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, President Joe Biden was briefed on the outage. Local authorities say restoring power could take up to 2 days. Blackout came as the Caribbean island entered its peak tourism season and just hours ahead of New Year's Eve celebrations. As we say goodbye to 2024 and hello to 2025, let's take a closer look at what exciting events and happenings await us in the world of Polish culture in this new year.
As Poland takes over the rotating presidency of the Council of the European Union, the Polish Ministry of Culture drafted a dedicated program of events to celebrate Poland's time at the helm. The majority of the events will take place abroad, but some will be held in Poland, including the inaugural performance from an orchestra under the direction of Radomir Dębski in the Grand Theatre National Opera in Warsaw.
The performance will draw inspiration from Polish musical traditions, so I am very curious about what it's going to look like.
Poland will also host a number of internationally acclaimed music festivals, including the Orange Warsaw Festival, the Open Air Festival, the OFF Festival, the Audio River Festival, and the Pole and Rock Festival. Some of the major stars confirmed for these festivals are Charlie XCX, Ray, Tyla, and Linkin Park. Performers like Andrea Bocelli, Lenny Kravitz, Billie Eilish, Guns N' Roses, and Kylie Minogue are also set to perform in Poland in 2025. Of course, Warsaw will also host the renowned International Chopin Piano Competition and performances of Chopin's works at the Royal Baths Park. You can tune into TVP World's Pulse of Culture to stay up to date on the most exciting cultural events in Poland and abroad.
Welcome to Pulse of Culture.
The world welcomed the year 2025 with the usual pomp and grandeur. Here's just the first few reactions from capitals all around the globe. And with those spectacular displays, we wish you a happy new year. Stay tuned right here on TVP World for more news and headlines. Goodbye.